So here we go. Today we are going to start working on gluing. So when I'm done talking, you're going to need to get some things. So one of the things you're going to need is background paper. If you are in the art room, I have background paper on the table. I've cut it a little smaller so it fits. I have white, I have black, but I have a lot of colors. So if you have a request, let me know. If you're at home, you can use your sketchbook or you can use anything you have at home. So get creative, but you will need some kind of background paper. If you want to channel Kara Walker and glue it to the walls and you are at home, you should really ask your grown-up first. I did that when I was young. My grown-ups did not get happy. They got very mad. You're also going to need some scrap paper. On the materials table in the room, I have scrap paper from phone books. Yes, we used to have to look up phone numbers and call people before cell phones. I've saved them, so you're going to need some scrap paper. Again, at home, go through your backpack, organize it. Any paper you don't need anymore, that will be your scrap paper. You're going to need your cut shapes from yesterday and today, so you'll find all your cut shapes that you have. And you're going to need scissors and glue. Again, if you're in the room, it should be in your bin. So basically things are in your bin or on the table. If you're at home, you'll have to get creative and find whatever glue you have at home. That's totally fine with me. Here we go on the demo. So I start first with all my little pieces, just like you've been cutting. And I'm going to encourage you to consider cutting delicate shapes. You don't have to, but I had my first class cut out a bunch of big wonky rectangles. And I'm like, oh, what's your meaning or message? And they're like, oh, I don't know. This is just the shape it was in the magazine. So consider doing very delicate or thin shapes. You don't have to, but you're in middle school now, so I know you can kind of handle it. So start thinking about your shapes. And before I even glue, I always take my shapes and I just try them on my background paper. So I'm just kind of arranging first, seeing where I want things to go. Do I want them connected, overlap? Do I want them kind of going off the side? And then, this is like my biggest pet peeve. When you are ready to glue, look close, lean in. Here we go. Thank you. I see some of you leaning in. When you're ready to glue, you pick up that shape you're gluing. I sound angry, but I'm not. You flip it over and you put it on your scrap paper and you glue the heck out of it on the back with the scrap paper with your glue stick. And then you bring it back to your background paper and you stick it on. I'm going to show you that again. You pick it up, you flip it over, you put on the scrap paper and you glue the heck out of the back of it on the scrap paper. So all that extra glue is going on the scrap paper. Then you bring it back to your background and you glue it down. I want you to do that because, number one, I saw some people today who were just putting the glue on their background paper and sticking their shape on, and they had all this extra glue, and it looked like boogers, and it was getting gross, and I don't like that. That's a pet peeve of mine. And then I saw somebody else who was like, well, I don't want to do that, so I'll just put like the tiniest little dot on there. And then he was gluing his shapes down, but they weren't sticking. They were like flapping up. They were all over the place. So use your scrap paper anytime you're gluing. If you're at home and you don't have a glue stick and you have some kind of liquid glue, maybe not super glue, had bad experiences with super glue. If you're at home and you have liquid glue like Elmer's glue, flip it over, put a little dot on it, dot, dot, not a lot, and then use your finger to smooth it out. So there, it's hard to see. I put a little glue. Use your finger to smooth it out. You don't want Elmer's glue to be chunky. You want it to be smooth. You flip it over, you stick it on. And then you might just have to wipe your hand off on a paper towel or whatever, napkin. That's really all I have for you. Be mindful of your scraps, be organized, check the floor, check the table. And I do really want you to have some kind of meaning or message, but everything else is up to you. It can be realistic or abstract. You can have lots of colors or one colors. You can have any kind of shapes you want. You can include drawing or painting or whatever. You can mix materials. As long as it has some kind of meaning or message, the way you do it is up to you. I'm going to stop recording. So hold that thought.